The Media Project.
Welcome to the Media Project. Can I take your order?
Yeah, I'd like one Scots on the Rocks Politica, a jazz room, and a Are We Here Yet? Don't forget my Mental Suppository podcast. Oh yeah, one Mental Suppository podcast, please.
Would you like that supersized?
The Media Project. Have it your way.
Am I ready for the Media Project? Hey you! Yes, I'm talking to the person pointing at themselves. Do you know what a podcast is? Sure you do. Can you show me how you listen to a podcast? Ha ha ha! Pull up your pants. That's not how you listen to a podcast. You listen to a podcast with your ears. No, not those ears. The ones on your head. But what podcast is right for you? Well, why don't you try the Media Project? The Media Project has some great podcasts, like The Jazz Room with Joan Watson Jones, Are We Here Yet? Scots on the Rocks Politica, and The Mental Suppository. No, that's not how you use the Mental Suppository, you stupid bastard. And where can you listen to a podcast? No, you don't listen to a podcast on the radio. You listen to a podcast online. And you can hear a podcast on your computer, your tablet, or your phone. No, not on a rotary phone. On a smartphone, stupid. The Media Project. Here to tell you all about the birds and the bees of great podcasts. Next week, we'll let you know if it's all right to have a sexual relationship with your parents' 1955 Ford Fairlane.
Excuse me, do you mind if I join you? Are you sure you don't mind? You're absolutely sure I'm going to stab you?
Jake, what did you do to your brother?
We were just playing, and then I got out of control. I'm sorry, Dad.
No, son, you did good. Having no self-control makes you a tough galoot, like me.
But I don't want to hurt nobody.
Well, that's too bad, kid, because you're gonna hurt everybody.
No!
Hello, and welcome to the Mental Suppository. I'm Brett Herholtz.
I'm Andrew Shanley.
I'm Jamie Billings.
And I'm Kevin Barbary.
And before we start, I just want to let you guys know the podcast just picked up another sponsor.
This episode of the Mental Suppository is brought to you by Rob's Back Alley Furniture.
Why is everything at Rob's Back Alley Furniture so cheap and affordable?
You tell him, Rob.
I steal them out of dumpsters, delivery trucks, and from the loading dock at Sabres. And you know all those couches you see on the side of the road? I take those too.
How does he do it?
I can't be beat. I won't be beat. But you can beat me off.
Now you're making me uncomfortable, Rob.
The first 15 customers who come down right now, I promise I'll light Peroxide Skeletor over here on fire.
Rob, what are you talking about?
Ah! Just look for the dented Econoline van with my face painted on it. My Rob's Back Alley Furniture keeps growing and growing.
Dude, pull up your pants, Rob.
Come on down, and be sure to ask about my E-pit.
Gross.
It burns! It burns! My soul, it burns!
Ron's Back Alley Furniture, located near the big vacant lot across from the Hoy Toy on Park Ave in glorious Worcester, Mass.
Oh. Well, so last week's episode, we were talking about the 90s and a lot of the weekday afternoon cartoons around that time. And it was around that time cartoons were starting to even weekday afternoon was starting to fizzle out. And I think at that point they were starting to show stuff like, instead of cartoons, they were showing stuff like Judge Judy. Oh. So it's like, and even like the Saturday morning cartoons, it had moved off like the networks and started moving towards like even the UHF or Channel 56 sort of channels. And because I remember in college, this guy I know getting excited about this one cartoon. I don't know if you guys remember Extreme Ghostbusters that came out around that time.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I do remember that.
I'm aware of it.
I'm aware.
I remember only because him trying to show it to us. I'm thinking to myself, I'm just not digging this. I think they even tried to make the theme song sound really hip, and it was like 9 Inch Nails Ghostbusters. I was expecting to say, the Ghostbusters are going to fuck you like an animal.
Well, let's just say that every idea and every concept in that they tried a little too hard.
Yeah.
Come on, it was the 90s. Everything was extreme.
It really was.
I mean, come on, like everything was extreme in the 90s. You had like
even my Doritos.
Everything was
Gushers, gummies. Yeah.
Charleston Chew.
To the extreme.
Dunkums, Dunkaroos, dunk 'em all, dunk everything.
Oh my god.
That's basically it. Yeah.
I think cartoons got replaced by shows like Jerry Springer and Maury. That was the talk show onslaught that happened during that time period where everybody got a talk show.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to follow me. I originated the thing.
You sure? You mean from the Fantastic
Everyone
Four?
remember Phil Donahue?
Oh yeah.
God.
I mostly remember Phil Hartman's impersonation of Phil Donahue.
Donahue was like the gold standard. He was like the one that started it all, pretty much.
He tried to be the one that was legit.
Yeah.
But yeah, around
Women. What is it with women that they can't find the right man? Women. Can we talk about this today? I'm Donahue. We'll be right back.
Let's talk about that girl.
They had like Ricky Lake. Remember that one?
Yep.
Oh my God.
But it was around that time they started moving off because it was like they started moving off of network TVs, and that I think it was around maybe 93, 94. That was when they launched Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
And I think at the beginning of it, it was mostly just like they were. I can't remember if it was like a series. It was owned by Ted Turner, and he sold it to like Warner Bros. I don't remember the story behind it.
It was that time in the cable period, history of cable, where every single like channel had their own specific theme. Like they had the History Channel, you had the Golf Channel, you had the Court TV Channel, and it was pretty much just different, channels with different kinds of things that were kind of specific to the content. And Cartoon Network was one of them.
But I think it's also Hanna-Barbera ended up selling, and their studio ended up becoming part of Cartoon Network, that's why you ended up getting a lot of stuff like Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack, Johnny Bravo. Those were the shows that started coming out around that time.
Well, do you guys also do you remember growing up with the USA Cartoon Express?
Oh, I remember.
Yes.
Vaguely, yeah.
Yep.
What was on that? I know I watched it.
That had all the classics like Huckleberry Hound, Snagglepuss.
Exit stage right.
Brett would have loved it. All the Huckleberry Hound, Droopy Dog.
Yeah, they really milked that train. That's for sure.
Yeah, because I think after a while with Cartoon Network, it went from like the classic cartoons, like the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and like the old Looney Tunes, which moved to like Boomerang, and then they started that's when you started getting into like the stuff like Space Ghost Coast to Coast and getting into
Adult Swim.
Yep. Adult Swim started to come in, yeah.
It's funny because I remember actually the first time I ever remember the Space Ghost Coast to Coast was as a VHS extra on the movie The Mask. They had an interview with Jim Carrey being introduced by Space Ghost. And it seemed like they rehashed the same clip of Jim Carrey saying "cool, all right" over and over again. And I think that was half of the charm of those shows is they took the old clips from Space Ghost or they repurposed the animation.
Yeah.
Because they ended up doing the same thing with shows like The Brack Show and C-Lab 2021 as well.
Yeah.
Where they would just,
C-Lab 2021. I remember.
I thought that show was hysterical.
I just remember one scene where a guy is just standing there and out of nowhere, a dart just hits him in the throat and he falls over and someone off camera just goes, "Oops, dart in your neck." I don't know why, and I fell over and left.
The one I remember was the one where they all get like addicted to these pills, And it's like, he goes, it's like, oh, it's just kelp. Kelp is crap, man. But they all get addicted, and they all they all end up worshiping this god. I forget his name, like Mardox, and the woman's like, I want Mardox in me.
Well, what was good about those cartoons is that they had the aesthetic, the design, and the style of the old cartoons that we used to love.
Right.
But they were all modern, and they swore, and they took over modern day topics, but they still had that allure of being an old time cartoon. And for the longest time, I thought they were some old cartoons that I'd never seen that were just completely redubbed over.
Well, they did that too.
Yeah.
They had they did that with the Wonder Twins. They had like these brief segments that were like the Wonder Twins doing like these really. Well, it was like the Wonder Twins just doing really lame things.
Zen and Jaina.
Yeah, and their space monkey Glink.
I had to look it up before I could relate the facts, but Ted Turner in 1992 bought the entire MGM and Warner Brothers property libraries. So he owned Looney Tunes, Merry Melodies, Fleischer Studios, Popeye cartoons, Paramount, United Artists, and all of that became part of his Cartoon Network. Then he purchased Hanna-Barbera.
Okay.
And so he also owned all of that. And since then, I think it's kind of petered out into other places. But he originally did own all of those and started the Cartoon Network.
Right.
As part of that. And
he's a cartoon dictator.
Created Captain Planet.
Yeah, that's... Oh, that was my wife upstairs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he.
What'd you
Captain
do now,
Planet.
Andy?
Oh, I bought a Chinese food, and she's like, "Yeah, I hope you got my cranberry goods."
We did.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it was like Ted Turner owned everything. He became like the Rupert Murdoch of like cartoons, and owned everything. It was insane. People
Apparently
were
has his own grill.
He was trying to start to colorize black and white films. Everybody was freaking out about that around that time. Like, oh my God, you can't do that.
I can do anything. I'm Ted Turner.
Son of a bitch, I can do what I want. Ugh. If I want to make Space Ghost swear, I'll do it.
His efforts to colorize a movie also led to him fronting millions of dollars to preserve old movies that began with Gone with the Wind and Casablanca and all these other movies to keep them from deteriorating. But he also, as part of that deal, was able to colorize things too.
Yeah, I think that he also was like the guy who focused on Turner movie classics.
That's
TMC, right. Where you get classic movies commercial free, and I loved that channel. Is that channel still around?
Oh yeah, it's still
TCM. Yeah.
TCM is still on. Yep.
I don't have
now.
it
It's not so classic now. I mean, they're up into the 90s now with what they're considering classic on TCM. You have to go to AMC to see the really old ones, and now AMC's got their own programming because that's where The Walking Dead is. AMC used to be all old movies.
Yeah. I remember that.
And now AMC is horror and spooky stuff, murder mysteries.
The 17th season of Fear the Walking Dead. They're going to walk again. Going nowhere fast.
Hey,
Look for The Walking Dead.
Should we fear them?
I mean, that show just killed the zombie genre for me completely. It's just, I can't watch it anymore.
Well, getting back to C-Lab 2021, that was also the show that started Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Oh God, that show.
that was there was a quick clip, and that was
Frylock, Shake.
Oh, guys, yeah,
Very good.
Yeah, that is my pool. Oh, can I swim in that? No, you may not.
Clearly, that was made by creators who actually watched the cartoons, and they started to say to themselves, "What would a 10-year-old actually write the cartoons to actually say?" And after when they got access to do whatever they wanted, they just did what they wanted. It was great.
I want candy.
Have you ever seen Dana Snyder, who does the voice of Master Shake? He looks exactly how you expect the guy who does the voice of Master Shake to look.
Isn't he? He also does a voice on Squidbillies.
Oh,
you mean he actually looks like a big guy, big Shake with a straw out of his head? Wow.
Oh, he looks bad. I don't think he's going to make it. Thanks, Carl. I appreciate it.
You see, I obviously can't watch that show anymore because I have kids and they're very impressionable minds.
Right.
And I don't want them repeating things at school, so.
What do you mean, Andrew?
I'm
Do
just gonna
explain.
I'm going to get like that call from like the principal's office saying, your daughter said something in class the other day and, I can't repeat it. I'll just write it down for you. I'm like,
I'm
going
gonna
to
have plenty
say,
of those.
I'll tell you this. It rhymes with Malina. I should have said something close to it. Rhymes with Regina. Is that better?
Victoria?
Think Pizzeria Regina, but with a V. Andrew, that's what your daughter said at school today.
yeah, pretty much that.
But she was just watching a cartoon.
It was just a cartoon.
Was it a medical cartoon?
It could
Wait,
be
was it
seen as
perchance
a...
It was
was it a
education-
cartoon from Japan, maybe?
It was one of Ted Turner's educational cartoons.
Well, that also led to Family Guy getting back on the air, but also Robot Chicken. There's another one
Robot Chicken.
That's another one that just came out of nowhere, and I was like, what the hell am I watching? I think the first one I ever saw was the one where they give Optimus Prime prostate cancer. And you're just like, and I'm just like, what did I just watch?
Dude, there's so many bits in that show. Like one of my favorites is like when they have Ted Turner turn into Captain Planet.
Yes.
Captain Planet. Yes.
I'm Captain Planet!
So where are we going to dump all this sludge?
Planet!
Oh, I heard the Grand Canyon holds a lot of sludge. Hey, is that Ted Turner on a zip line? Oh, yeah, that's what I think.
And they're like using Star Wars action figures and everything else like that. The Emperor. Like, oh my God.
My camera went off. Sorry about that, guys. Didn't mean to do that.
Okay.
Oh, that's
They have Luke Skywalker. He goes into town and he goes to see. He's at Toshi Station to see the power converters and their strippers. It's at Toshi Station to see the power converters.
Well, I think they made Skeletor a celebrity for that show.
Oh my God! Of course.
There's like the
You
one
got Skeletor going to the dentist?
Yes. Oh no, not Molar, Eternian dentist. You have an impacted wisdom to. I'm busy, Molar. It's gonna come. I'm a talking. You know what? The hell with it.
Or better yet, the one where they're all stuck in traffic with the windows rolled up and
Yes.
someone.
Skeletor cuts one.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Good.
You know, it's great to actually go in the toy aisle occasionally and see they have the new He-Man figures out now. They have like the new He-Man Skeletor figures now.
Oh, they're gigantic.
Yeah, they look like
tiny,
the
tiny
yeah.
little heads.
Like any other bodybuilder.
They've been juicing.
Something's going on.
That was another one. They had like Eternia's gym, and it has He-Man juicing in the back. It's like, I'm busy, Man at Arms. Get out of here.
I just remember seeing the behind the scenes of that, and Seth Green's like obviously the big guy in that show.
Yeah,
but
and he only stands about 5'2".
I know. That's the brilliant part about it. That guy's set for life. He's set for life.
Oh yeah.
He's been doing movies since he was a little kid.
Well,
so,
he's been doing
yeah.
commercials since I think he started doing commercials when he was a kid, and then sort of moved to movies.
Yeah.
I think his big movie break was like when he was in the Austin Powers movies. I think it was
No.
Idle
His big
Hands?
break was,
Oh, there you go. Idle Hands.
nope. Before that, man. Airborne.
Hotel. What was it?
Airborne? Wait a minute.
Airborne.
Is that movie about
Airborne?
the rollerblader?
Is
that it?
With the Uniblades or whatever they're called.
Oh my God, that had Jack Black in it too, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Oh, geez.
I can go further back than that. He was the youngest child of the family in the movie Hotel New Hampshire, which is a very bizarre movie with Rob Lowe and Jodie Foster.
Yeah, that's bizarre just to begin with.
Hotel New Hampshire, shot in Arizona.
Yeah, it's
Toronto.
That's a weird movie.
They're all weird movies when you're starting out your career. You know, that's just how it is in the end.
He was also in a horror movie in the early 90s called Ticks.
Oh, I think I remember that.
Ticks.
That had Clint Howard was in that.
Oh gosh,
Clint Howard's in everything.
I know.
He had a tick jump up into his face, and it was like coming out of his mouth, inside of his mouth, and he screams, "I'm infested!" And they were all inside him and stuff. Classic movie stuff.
That guy.
Anyway, back to
Also in the
cartoons.
Austin Powers movies.
Yeah, again.
Well, you just think about all the stuff that's come out through Cartoon Network, not just like the Adult Swim stuff, but I mean, it's stuff like Adventure Time that's come. Well, that whole genre, you can think like Ren and Stimpy. You know, you had shows like Chowder, the Flapjack, and then you have like it comes to like Adventure Time, which when I first saw that show, I just thought it was the most. I just thought it was great.
Oh yeah.
Ren
and Stimpy, Nickelodeon, and that was the early 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like there was like a line of like a lot of these people who had worked somehow connected with Ren and Stimpy ended up doing a lot of these cartoons. Like, you know, the creator of SpongeBob SquarePants, you know, started out, you know, I think started out doing something with Ren and Stimpy, and it's just like it's like this sort of interconnected thing where they've all somehow one or the other have all worked on that cartoon at some point. I might be wrong, but I feel like they have. But I mean, with Adventure Time, I didn't know what to make of it when I first saw it, but now I just think I think it's great because the one episode I absolutely love is like Jake's trying not to lose his self-control because he has this horrible flashback of him beating up his brother. And his brother, it's like the flashback is Jake crying and his brother face down on the ground looking dead. And his father going, "Jake, what did you do?" "I'm sorry, Dad. I just lost my self-control." "Good for you, son. Losing self-control makes you a tough galoot, like me. But I don't want to hurt anyone." "That's too bad, kid, because you're going to hurt everybody." No!
Oh, the good times.
Yeah.
The good times. But Cartoon Network, man, they really kind of pushed the envelope.
And there's just so much on it now. I mean, it's just like,
yeah,
not all of it's great, but I mean, it's you know, it's like just a lot of stuff's kind of come out of that and become famous. Even more so than, I mean, you think about, you know, how everything's not, I think there's hardly any actual, apart from like primetime cartoons, there's nothing on network television anymore, you know. You know, most of the, I think
game
most
shows.
of the, I think most of the it's all like primetime animation, which, you know, even with that,
there is no more network television, man.
Yeah.
Not really, no.
It's all gone. Broadcast
and everything. A lot of the
everything
shows
is
that we're
plus.
talking about is all free. You just
Yeah.
find
Yep.
it either on YouTube or on one of these streaming channels because they have the
Exactly.
whole library. You just watch it there.
Mhm.
And you can do that with a lot of like the Cartoon Network stuff now. At least the repeats, they have like a Cartoon Network app where you can just go in and watch it, or you can watch it on Hulu. So it's like entertainment's changed.
Yes, CW has
Yeah, those
an app.
kids don't know what it's like to like not watch a cartoon and like it'd be like, "I'm not home at 4:30. I don't get to see this cartoon ever again in my life."
I know.
Or at least it's going to be a long time till you see it in repeats, and it's like,
Well-
God damn it, I missed that episode.
Like, I'll be honest, I have my kids, they watch the same episode of a show over and over and over again. They're like, "I like this episode." And I'm like, "Did you like it the first time? Okay, that's enough. Move on to the next one, please. Watch
Right.
something different." I mean, seriously, but they have no idea. These kids just have no idea. You know, they told me that my daughter loves Stranger Things. And she said, "Dad, I wish I grew up in the 80s like you did." And
No,
I'm
you
like,
don't.
"Okay." I turn off the Wi-Fi. Now you're in the 80s. But
No,
she
we
gets
had some good stuff for growing up.
Yeah.
We didn't have to have seatbelts on everything. We got to sit in the back of the station wagon on 290 going by the polar bear with our arms waving out the window.
Sitting next to the gas tanks.
Yeah. I used to ride in the back of a pickup truck with everybody else when I went to camp. You just like be in the bed of the truck. "Hey, everybody, just put in the back of the truck." We drive into town, go to the packy, and then we pick up candy bars or whatever, and we'd ride back in the back of the truck again.
And if you had a smart ass uncle like I did, he would look for that certain bump, so he'd be like, "Okay,
Everybody gets airborne.
hey, Uncle Bob, he left with 5 kids, and he comes back
With 3.
with 4."
Nah, he's going to be walking. He might be limping on the way back, but don't worry, he'll be.
Fine.
Yeah, kids back then, they just let them walk it off. Walk it.
That was always the
Come on. It builds character. It builds character.
You know, and cartoons.
And body pain.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that too. That too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, why my back hurts so much? I've never done anything to my back. Oh, yeah.
It's
when
like
I was 10 years old.
Our childhood was essentially that scene from like Lethal Weapon 3 where they start like sharing and showing each other's scars and like, yeah, I got this there and I got that there and like, you know, it didn't have any pain at all. It was like so bad. It was bleeding all over the place.
Although you cried like a 3-year-old when it happened. I know I did.
Help me, yeah.
I'll put a butterfly Band-Aid on it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually tell you guys an honest story. I was rollerblading back in like about 20 years ago, and I fell and broke my arm. And I called my mom, and she drove over and she gave me like a bag of frozen peas, and we went to the hospital. I'm like 24 years old, and I have like a bag of frozen peas on my arm as we're going to the ER. I felt so stupid. Wow. Yeah, that was me. I'll admit it.
Well, that was great. I thought, oh, what's wrong with that? Until you said the 24-year-old part. I was thinking, oh, he's like 15.
Yeah.
What's wrong with him calling his mom? I was 35.
I was 37. I'm not that old.
Well, you know, we're all man children, you know, until mom's like, oh, that's okay. I'll take care of this.
Hey man, even the most rough and gruffest men, when they're, you know, out on the battlefield, some of their, you know, last words or whatever are for their mom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
it was Glenn Danzig's last words.
So this is a reminder to everybody right now. Tomorrow you need to call your mom and say that you love her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mother's Day 2021. Be prepared.
If we all survive.
It's going to be a mother of a Mother's Day.
Okay, so you guys might have thought DOA Trivia was the only new game show out there, but I found out Toontown has its own brand new trivia game show.
That's right, Brett.
What, you again?
Nope, I'm someone completely different. And it's time to play Name That Tune. And here's our host, Bunny Winkleman.
Thank you. And welcome to Name That Tune, the game show where you don't have to be loony to play it, but it sure helps. The rules are simple. Answer as many trivia questions right, you win a great prize. If you don't, you get an anvil on the head or dynamite down the pants. Let's meet our guest. He's an evil sorcerer you don't want to rub the wrong way. Please welcome Jafar.
Thank you, Bunny. It's really nice to be here.
Is it really?
No, not really. But I've got a memoir to promote. So I need the publicity. I Love Lamp. In stores now.
Sounds... yeah. Let's meet our next guest. He made bestiality acceptable in a family movie. Please welcome Roger Rabbit.
Please, Bunny, I need to win. I'm skinned for cash and I've got a baby on the way.
Gross. And finally, he's someone you can't miss if you saw him on the street, but he probably wouldn't be able to see you. Please welcome Mr. Quincy Magoo.
Hello, Bunny. Nice to see you. Yes, I'm just trying to find the buzzer.
Get your hands off my wife.
Oh, I do apologize, madam. Oh, Magoo, you've done her again. Yes, ma'am.
I wouldn't mind playing patty cake with her.
I'd show her my grand vizier, if you know what I mean.
I don't think I do. Oh, let's play the game. Here's the first question. What do One Day at a Time and the Inspector from the Pink Panther have in common?
I feel like I know.
Yes. Oh,
I'll take it. I think they've got the same maid.
oh boy. Anybody else?
Would it be the star Mackenzie Austin?
Oh, I'm sorry. That is not correct either, Jafar. The correct answer is Schneider from One Day at a Time, Pat Harrington Jr., is the voice of Inspector Clouseau.
No!
Ew, drat.
All right. Question number 2. Who are real-life husband and wife Wayne Allewine and Russi Taylor, better known as in the Toon World?
Is it Mickey and Minnie Mouse? Oh, yes.
That's correct, Mr. Magoo. I'm over here, by the way.
See there you are. Oh, by Jupiter, I fell on my balls again.
Question number 3. How many nephews does Popeye the Sailor have?
4? Lucky fuckers.
That's correct, Mr. Magoo.
Oh, they were homely little devils. Yes, I can't imagine what Popeye's sister must have looked like.
He has 4 nephews. Anybody know their names?
Peter, I don't know.
Very close, Roger.
Is it Pip-Eye, Peep-Eye, Poop-Eye, and Popeye? Oh, yes.
That's correct, Mr. Magoo. Pip-Eye, Peep-Eye, Popeye, and Poop-Eye.
Oh,
yes.
Watch out for that last one.
Oh, they were little bastards, they were.
That he's called Poop-Eye.
I wonder how he got that name.
Probably got a bad case of conjunctivitis.
Oh, that really hurt. I hate that.
Question number 4. Which Walt Disney character was Walt Disney's personal favorite?
Was it Mickey Mouse?
That's incorrect, Mr. Magoo. Anybody else?
I think it's his bestest friend of all time, Goofy.
That is correct. Goofy, man's best friend, was also Walt Disney's best friend.
I would have said Minnie Mouse.
You pervert.
Yes.
The final question. Which musical band turned down the part of the Vultures for the cartoon The Jungle Book?
Would that be the Beatles?
What? That is correct, Jafar.
Whoa, by Jupiter.
Well, you know,
Fantastic.
I was sitting around with, John and George and Ringo and Walt Disney called up and said, "Hey, you want to play the voice of the Vultures?" And I said, "No, I want to talk to the monkeys." And that was
Then what did you tell him after that?
Well, I told him, kind of busy doing a little bit of, rock and roll stuff, like making up songs about, yesterday and, might be a little busy.
Holding hands and stuff,
Yes, we don't need help. Or do we? We need somebody.
They asked me if I want to be a vulture. I told them to fuck off.
Well, that was John. That wasn't me. I wouldn't ever say anything like that. So, yeah, no, thank you. I'll pass.
Well, it looks like after all these questions, our winner tonight is Mr. Magoo.
Oh, my Jupiter. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, where's the prize? Oh, I just grabbed your wife's breasts again. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, yes.
Ron, till I guess what they won.
An all-expense paid week to Albuquerque. Don't just take a wrong turn there. Spend the week. Enjoy fine dining at Chateau Lafeu, Toontown's best 4-star French dining since 1945. Just keep an eye on your wife. I hear the proprietor is quite the ladies' man.
Jessica and I went to that restaurant. Excellent service. She got pregnant shortly after.
That's disgusting. Also go out for a night of entertainment at Club Fantasia. Come for the dancing hippos. Stay for the atmosphere.
I remember the floor show was quite entertaining.
Oh, yes. I drove through there once.
And a $50 gift card to Woolworths.
Tune in tomorrow to see who doesn't fall flat on Name That Tune. This is Bunny Winkleman saying, that's all, folks. Hey, I'm gonna sue you, you son of a, you friggin' jerk.
That was a good ending.
That was great.
Funny, of all the, it's funny, you think back to like The Simpsons, and there was like, for the longest time, they were the only primetime cartoon out there, at least in the 80s and 90s. I mean, there were a few, like The Critic and a few other ones that kind of came out, but it's like the whole primetime cartoon thing didn't really pick up till, I don't say till like maybe 2005 when Family Guy returned.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you also had
nobody could beat The Simpsons.
Yeah,
exactly.
The Simpsons were like the king. They were on from like '89. They were part of the Tracy Ullman show.
Yep,
and
I
then
remember that.
They transitioned to a primetime show on Fox, and they've been on the air ever since, like literally since 1989.
Well, I would have to
in
say
high school.
Probably the dominance that they really had was when they went into syndication.
Yeah.
I remember between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock it was on one station, and between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock it was on another station. So basically, you try to get yourself like a full load of Simpsons the whole entire day.
That show's been on like for 30 years.
I feel like they're trying to get the record of having an entire cast that just dies before they cancel the show.
They're going to have so much voiceover recording from that show that they'll just keep on doing episodes.
So they're going to do like the chef from South Park, where they just piece together his last episode. They're going to do that with The Simpsons.
They're just going to fly off of a cliff.
Yeah.
Maggie's going to say, oh shit, and then that's it.
Probably. But I mean, even between that time, I remember The Critic came out, and that was a great cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
With John Lovitz.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
It stinks.
Stinks.
High five. Stinks.
Sorry, son. Nobody wants to watch you. They came to watch the cute and funny kittens.
They kept on saying, buy my book. Buy my book.
My book.
Actually, whenever I do a Comic-Con or a book show, that's what I'd always say online is buy my book.
You do say that. You do.
Don't worry, it doesn't go unnoticed, Brett.
Yeah. Yeah, they kept it in the store until the owner shot himself.
Is that really true?
No, that was from the episode.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. But I mean, it was a long time, and then suddenly, like in '99, like Futurama and Family Guy came out, and it just. But even then, it just never. You just couldn't get past the whole Simpsons thing, and then with Cartoon Network and showing Family Guy and repeats, it got the show back on the air.
It also speaks to volumes as to like the amount to the age of the people as we're growing up. We're out of the Saturday morning cartoons. We're now out of those afternoon cartoons with like I said, the USA Cartoon Express and the Nickelodeon stuff that we would see. So we've evolved past that. We're grown up past that, and now we need other cartoons to make us feel better. I mean, I got to admit, like we watch Family Guy and Simpsons almost every single day because there is something that feels good about watching it.
Don't forget about King of the Hill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That too.
King of the Hill with Mike Judge. I mean, I would also.
Oh, come on now, Bobby.
I would even look at Beavis and Butthead on MTV.
Well, have you ever seen the interview he did talking about how he came up with the Boomhauer voice? I guess there was a guy who used to call in to I think it was either MTV or wherever they were producing not King of the Hill, sorry, Beavis and Butthead. And it was this guy that would just leave a voicemail every time. He'd go, dang it, man, turn on my TV set, and every time you're playing Porky's Butthole.
Right in here in my pocket, I've got some tactical sand. Was it Rusty Shackelford? Rusty Shackelford's tactical sand.
Oh my gosh. That show is insane. That show is crazy. But yeah, I mean, it's just when they took cartoons off the air because they weren't educational enough, the adults had said, "Okay, screw you. We're just going to take them and make them uneducational. We're going to put them on the air at prime time, and screw you guys."
Well, with like something like Family Guy, they were riffing on a lot of cartoons we grew up with, like the Super Friends, or there was one.
Yeah.
I remember one they were making fun of an old commercial from the '80s, which had like the cavity creeps. And they had the whole thing of them saying, "We make holes in teeth." And I'm like, I remember that. It just, it's like, he would do stuff like Timer the Cheese Guy, which I guess he originally wanted the original voice of Timer the Cheese Guy, but at that point I think the guy was
that
too old.
I hanker for a hunk of cheese?
Yeah. That's the one.
Slice of chunker, a hanker for a hunk of cheese. You got yourself a wagon wheel.
Well, there's also like they had jokes that just were pop culture references that were just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like I was part of the Sand People Choir.
Oh, don't worry, the Sand People will be back, and in greater numbers. Oh, that'll sound much. Oh, it'll be wonderful.
Oh, it'll sound wonderful.
I mean, seriously, that show really kind of like broke the mold, and I think that was a real big competitor to Simpsons.
But it sort of gave birth to all those like Rick and Morty sort of shows where
my god,
where it's like that go even further than that. I mean,
yeah, you wouldn't have Rick and Morty if you didn't have Simpsons, Family Guy, and South Park.
You wouldn't have Pickle Rick. Wouldn't happen.
Morty, you killed the Simpsons. They're a beloved icon, Morty. We gotta get some Simpsons DNA. We gotta.
Yeah, clearly we're definitely in the realm of my kids can't watch this.
Yeah. No.
Sorry, that was the only burp I could muster at the time when I was trying to talk to.
The interesting
I can't do that.
The interesting thing about that show is it's not everything on that show is funny. They've done things that just make you by the end of it you're just like, holy shit, you completely, you just can't believe it. Like the one where they have to. They completely like screwed up their dimension, so they go into another dimension where basically Rick and Morty get killed, so they replace them. And there's this whole part where it's like Morty's just walking through the house to this very somber music playing, and I forget.
Very dark.
Yeah, and you're just like, wow, this just got really dark really quick. And I think the thing is they turned their dimension into Cronenberg's.
That darkness is it also leads to that punch of the comedy.
Yes.
Because then after he's walking through the somber house, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And they didn't just drop it at the end of the episode. It actually ended up going throughout the series. It's like some shows that they end up, they have like that one joke, and then you just sort of like, okay, we'll never speak of that again, because it's like in another episode where they were like doing television from different dimensions. Suddenly, Morty points out to Summer that their bodies are buried outside, and he makes this line saying, something about, life is short, life is this, that, and the other thing. Do you want to come in and watch TV? And you're just like, wow.
That's deep.
It's just kind of like those gut punch things, and then it does stuff like Strawberry Smiggles, and you're just like, God damn it.
Columbus. How does it work? I don't know.
Think about it, won't you?
So that's how a Plumbus works. And it's set up to look like the how it's made show. It's like first you take a bunch of schleem and you put it on, and and now man versus car. Well, car won. Why wouldn't it? It's a car.
Or when he goes to get himself. I think it was a copy of a Rick or a copy of a Morty. I don't remember, but he goes to some copy place, and the alien he just hands over like a bag of DNA to an alien, and he's like, here, and the alien just goes, and the alien goes off and makes a clone out of like his weird butthole devices in the back of the room.
I think what works about that show is it's like everything is sort of like really bizarre and really. But it also works within that universe.
Hey, Kevin, I think we're going to have to binge that show.
I've watched it a couple of times.
I've seen it a couple of times, too. I'm like...
I watched a lot. A friend of mine grew up with Dan Harmon And he
Oh.
said that they actually started doing that on like their college radio station, and it was a lot more dark than it ended up being when they turned it into a cartoon. That it was, yeah, a lot of I have to ask him the details because I can't remember what the details were. It was some very strange things they wouldn't do on the television show because they would just get drunk and riff on it.
Well, the
Guy
who did the
that kind of
voices
makes me think they do that now.
Well, the guys who did the voices, the guy who does the voices of both Rick and Morty, he also did the voice of this character, Lord Lemongrab, on Adventure Time. And apparently he almost ruined his voice doing the character because there was a lot of screaming.
Yeah.
I mean, just look it up on YouTube at some point and you'll see it. Before we end the program, I should mention some of the reboots and revivals they've done on some series in the past few years. Some of them like She-Ra, Princess of Power, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Peabody and Sherman, as well as most recently the Animaniacs. Some of them I haven't enjoyed as much. Peabody and Sherman, I just found the whole talk show format of it just didn't grab me the same way. I kind of missed the old setup of the old Peabody and Sherman, and this one I didn't like as much. On the other hand, I did really enjoy Rocky and Bullwinkle. I kind of enjoyed how they made Rocky a little less of a straight man and made him kind of goofy like Bullwinkle. It kind of fit in with the whole Adventure Time version of these characters, or at least the Adventure Time style humor of these characters, having both be kind of a pair of lunatics. I really actually enjoyed Animaniacs, the recent Animaniacs. I know some people didn't like some of the direction it's gone in, but I thought it was great. And to be honest, there are a lot of characters they just can't use anymore. Some of them, not as PC. Others, they just, it's just sort of a 90s reference that you just can't get people probably wouldn't get as much anymore, like the Goodfeathers. Unless you grew up in the 90s, most people wouldn't really get a Goodfellas reference unless they sort of changed the characters and made them more like the Sopranos. They also did a reboot of the Wacky Races on Boomerang several years ago, and I guess they're also planning on doing another reboot of the Wacky Races, although this one might be a little bit darker.
From the studio that brought you Birdman Begins, Michael Bay's Challenge of the GoBots, and Smurfpocalypse Now. In the year 2000, hit-and-run driving is no longer a felony. It's a national sport. A wacky national sport.
Heavens to Murgatroyd! It's a race to the death! Or worse even!
Wacky Death Race 2000. See your favorite Hanna-Barbera characters in an all-out crazy, kooky, zany race to the death.
Yogi! Ranger Smith is gaining on us!
I'm gonna hang your pelt over my fireplace, you damn dirty bear!
Relax, Boof.
I told you to
Little
never
does
call me
Ranger
Boof.
Smith know, I'm smarter than the average bear.
Bullshit!
Yogi! Keep your eyes on the road!
I have enough time to get a bite to eat out of this picnic basket.
You're gonna get us killed, you stupid fat fucking bastard!
You'll die laughing, watching them trying to kill one another.
Oh look! Here comes the Speed Buggy Gang, with Dick Dastardly and Muttley on their tail!
Tinker, why isn't Speed Buggy going any faster?
I don't think he's taken well to the modifications I did to him.
Rumazum, why won't you let me die already? Rumazum, I'm in constant agony.
Look out, gang!
I'm
too heavy for these guys! Race him down!
Good shot, Muttley! Those kids certainly made a good impression. On the canyon below!
Boy, that Dick Dastardly sure lives up to his name. He's a real dastardly individual. But wait, who's that gaining on him? Oh, come on!
These guys laugh, in the face of danger.
It looks like Dick Dastardly's about to smoke. Shaggy and Scooby. Oh, the only smoking going on here are these ribs we're smoking in the back of the van. Right, Scoob, old buddy, old pal? Rock where you're arriving, you Armstrong, rock. Don't be so fucking ponderous, Scoob. Rocky, you rascal!
And the boys aren't the only ones getting in on the bloodthirsty, zany hijinks.
Muttley, it's Penelope Pitstop ahead. Get on her ass! Oh, get your mind out of the gutter, you horny toad. I'll get you, Penelope Pitstop!
I'll see you in Rail!
Oh, look! Here comes the Ant Hill mob! Hurry up, Chugaboom! We gotta save Penelope Pitstop from the hooded claw! I'm not in this one, you little bastards! We're all gonna die! You know what? I'm sick of hearing you bitch! Now I'm bleeding to death out of the top of my head! Heavens to Murgatroyd! It looks like certain doom for Penelope Pitstop! But wait! Who's that gaining on Dick Dastardly? Oh, my darling! Oh, my darling! Oh, my darling Clementine! Muttley, this is your fault, you son of a bitch! Oh, shucks. Dick Dastardly's favorite color must be blue, because I just blew his remains all over the highway.
And special guest star, David Carradine.
Hey, Carradine, don't choke.
Good one, Fred.
Choke on this, you Stone Age sack of shit.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You yabba dabba douche.
Go hang yourself, Carradine!
Don't miss Wacky Death Race 2000, coming soon to Boomerang.
Thank you for listening to The Mental Suppository. On behalf of Kevin, Jamie, Andrew, and myself, this is Brett Herholtz saying,
I knew I'd disturb you.
The Mental Suppository has been produced by Brett Herholtz and Jamie Billings and distributed by M the Media Project. Theme music generously donated by Mr. B, the Gentleman Rhymer. Visit his webpage at gentlemanrhymer.com. We would love to hear from our fans. Email us at mentalsuppository@gmail.com.
The Mental Suppository. Entertainment for your brain hole. Why? Because we love you. No. Seriously. We love you.
You know, people who don't listen to the Mental Suppository just blow up sometimes. Oh, that's a load of bullshit. See what I mean? What are your neighbors saying about M the Media Project?
Terrible. Disgraceful. I've never been so insulted in all my life. I feel so scandalized. Ooh.
Ah, bunch of lousy bums! Get out of my neighborhood!
Think of the children.
I don't want this kind of garbage around here!
I got your podcast right here! What does this all prove? We think you should move to a better neighborhood. M the Media Project. We don't know how to fix your stupid neighbors, but we do make great podcasts.
Hey! I thought I told you not to blow up the neighbor's yard!
Go to hell, old man!
Howdy, neighbor. Having trouble with the beaver?
Yeah, my kid's being a bastard, too.
Say, sounds like you could use M the Media Project.
M the Media Project? What the hell's that?
What, you been hit over the head with a bag of oranges or something? M the Media Project has some mighty fine podcasts, like Jazz Room, Are We Here Yet?, Scots on the Rocks Politica, and The Mental Suppository.
I want to try that out.
Guarantee your wife will love it too.
Don't see how this helps me with my stupid wiener kid.
M the Media Project.
We can't help you with your stupid wiener kid, but we have some mighty fine podcasts. Hey there, Bonnie boy. What's that racket you're listening to? Oh, hiya, Fred. I'm just listening to the Mental Suppository podcast. Mental Suppository? What the hell is that?
What, have you been living in a cave or something, Fred? It's a great new podcast that fulfills all your pop culture needs, with interviews, group discussions, and live readings. I hear Wilma likes it too.
Barney, I told you once, I don't want to tell you again. Stay the hell away from Wilma.
Fuck you.
The Mental Suppository Podcast. New episodes drop every Friday, dum-dums. And I thought I told you to stay away from Wilma too. Go to hell, fat ass. Oh boy. And don't you be a dum-dum. Subscribe to M the Media Project's Patreon page today. Little